Welcome everyone to another episode of Keeping It Real. We believe we are the largest podcast for real estate professionals, made by real estate professionals. My name's DJ Paris. I am your guide and host through the show. And today is our monthly episode with the amazing and wonderful Gogo Bethke from Gogo's Boot Camp. This is our social media boot camp that we do every single month. Let me tell you a little bit about Gogo if you are new to the show. Gogo Bethke came to the United States in 2003 to build her American dream. She was broke, had no sphere of influence, no experience, barely spoke English, and with only $6 to her name. So that left her with nothing else but Facebook to help build her business. And that's where she started. She created Gogo's Real Estate, and her real estate career began. And with the power of social media, Gogo has sold over 45 million in residential real estate transactions. She shares the good, the bad, and the ugly side of real estate with her honest snippets into her everyday life with her tens of thousands of social media followers. And in the real estate community, she has earned the nickname the Social Media Queen. She has been asked to present at all sorts of realtor events all over the country. She's built a social media boot camp as well for realtors called Gogo's Boot Camp. Today, she has a team, and this is probably an old number, of 130 agents. It's probably much bigger now, and she is consistently growing that nationwide. Her goal is to help as many agents as possible make a name for themselves in real estate. And if she can do it, a girl from Transylvania, Romania, with no U.S. education and no sphere of influence, no education or no money or experience, then you can do it as well. We'd like you to follow Gogo on Instagram at Gogo's Real Estate. And also, we highly recommend, this is our highest possible recommendation, that everyone listening signs up for Gogo's Boot Camp. For our listeners, we have a special website set up with a discount. So please visit gogopodcast.com. That's Gogo podcast.com. Check out her boot camp. It's amazing. I've done it. It's incredible. You should do it as well. And now, welcome once again, Gogo. Thanks for being here.
Well, thank you so much for that intro.
We're so excited to have you and love talking about you and your success. And, your business is just exploding. It's always growing, and you're helping so many agents with their social media. In particular, right now, when there isn't much that anybody can do. You are in Michigan, and you guys were not deemed an essential service as of the recording of this. Hopefully that'll change soon. So the agents can't do a whole lot. So what's going on right now? What are you seeing out there?
I mean, this is the time for social media. If you haven't had the time to figure it out, like, you are forced now to figure it out, because it's almost the only thing in the last thing standing that us realtors can do from the comfort of our homes. Like, if you look at New York, they're not even allowed to cold call anymore. Right. So it's like we can door knock, we can hold open houses, we can network with other agents in the industry unless it's virtual. We can't. The list of things that we can do, it's so long. On social media, we can. If you think about it, this is the time where people spend 4 hours a day in average on different social media platforms, because there's nothing else to do but cruising it, to see what's going on. So I think this is the perfect timing to make sure that you're prepared for what's coming, because I do believe that the good times are coming. As soon as we are released back to society, we are going to have a phenomenal year. Our prices are still standing strong. Our interest rates are low. Our inventory is so low right now here in our neck of the woods. And I feel like as soon as we are released and everybody can get pre-approved and the rates stay where they are at, or maybe even get better than the average of the 3%, I think we are going to have an amazing year in real estate. And I just think everybody should use this time to better their business, get the stuff done that they usually don't have the time to do, build those parts of the business that will help them scale when we are finally released. And I have a couple of tips for that.
Let's talk about it. I have a quick thing I wanted to mention is I wonder how many people who are stuck at home, which is the majority of America at this point, and are sort of feeling constricted by the physical size of their home. And I'm wondering how many of those people, when all of a sudden we're back to normal, are like, it's time to upgrade. I know I'm thinking about that, and I bet you a lot of people are too. And I was thinking, maybe that's great content for social medias to start to talk about, hey, are you starting to feel like maybe not necessarily to say, oh, by the way, if you want to buy a bigger home, use me. Maybe that's not the time to do that, but just to talk about how everything's feeling a little tighter and more constricted now.
Yeah, that too. And then we were talking with Dwayne last night. just think of all of the people and this might not sound good, but truly, this was a conversation at the dinner table last night. Think of all of the people who can't stand one another.
Yes.
or they're realizing how much they don't like to stand one another, because when you don't spend so much time with somebody, they're not that annoying. But now that you have to be with them night after day after night after day, weeks after weeks after months, like, I think this might also mess with our divorce rates, and that again
for sure
will help real estate altogether. I mean, I don't wish this on anyone, but when you're locked up with people, it can get ugly if you don't like them.
Yeah, there's going to be probably a lot of babies born about 9 months from now,
Exactly.
and a lot of people getting divorces.
Exactly. So I feel like in real estate, yes, especially here in Michigan, we are shut down, like we are not considered essential. So there isn't much we can do. But in the same time, I feel like when finally we get released, there's so many different angles that are going to just burst the real estate market. As you said, people are going to start having babies. 10 months from now, they're going to need to upsize. Also, many people realize, you know what? I don't have a home office. I have 4 children and a dog and a parrot running around crazy, and I need to go live. Like, you won't be able to do that unless you have that assigned place. So I feel like a lot of people going to just, change residences because of that. And then divorce, and then, this and that. And new jobs and relocations, because so many people has lost their jobs. So who knows what the new jobs are going to take on.
I wonder how many companies where people go into the office, I wonder how many of them are starting to realize we can do a lot of this virtually. And after this all goes back to normal, it'd be very interesting to see how many people end up staying work from home. And so your point is really well said, that you really do need a dedicated space.
Yeah. Yeah. And for us, I mean, I've been with EXP, that since October of 2018. So I'm like 14 months in, 15 months, something like that, of working from home. So I'm totally used to it. Now, the person I'm not used to is my husband also got a real estate license. He's full-time realtor right now. He used to work corporate America and travel all the time. So now he's home full-time. Now our children are home full-time. Our dog is home full-time, so it's like having the house full. And even though just before you came on live here, even though I told my children, and they're old enough, they're almost 11 and 13. They're old enough to understand, hey, mommy's unalive. My 13-year-old decided to walk like army walk up to bam, bam, boom, boom, bam, bam. I opened the door just before you got on here. I'm like, seriously, guys? Like, just because I'm in a different level of the house, sounds travel. Right. Like, you can't walk around like that when I'm trying to go live here. So it's like adjusting to the working from home thing. It's an adjustment for everybody. Even though we're
all seeing a lot more of people that we're not always normally seeing, and we're seeing a lot less of people too, right? It's this weird combination of you better really like the people you live with, because
exactly when you are stuck with them. And I can't even imagine, like, in areas where they live really close to one another, like New York, where people live in like cute little tiny quarters. Like in Romania, my parents live in Romania. They're not allowed out on the road.
Yeah.
Like, we can at least go on a bike ride, we go on a hike. If it's nice and sunny out, we throw a football in the backyard and stuff. But in Romania, you're not leaving your house unless you have an emergency or you need to go grocery shopping. But if that's the case, only one person can go.
Right.
So imagine areas like that when you're like literally stuck in a little shoebox. I would probably start losing it.
Yeah, we have some of our help here at our office live in the Philippines, and they're not really allowed to go outside except for grocery shopping. They're not really allowed to take walks. Zana, Zana, who's our producer she lives in Kosovo, same thing. They're not really allowed to do much. So we're very lucky that we can still get out and do a few things. Stay.
Yeah, my sister lives in a high rise in the city I grew up in the same high rise I grew up in. They live in an apartment, and so they ended up going out to my parents' house because they live in a village and they have a yard, so the children can actually go outside, but you still can go out on the road. You can be in your own yard. But if my sister stayed in the apartment, they would literally be inside in an apartment all day, every day.
Yeah, we're very lucky. There's here, it's, even though we're now the epicenter of everything for the virus, but we're still able to do some things, and we're lucky, I think. So
yeah, Michigan I think is in 3rd or 4th place too. So yesterday we went grocery shopping and I had masks and gloves and all that. I am married to a germ freak. I am not a germ freak myself. I believe that this flu is it's not the one that's going to take me.
Right.
but he made me wear a glove and mask and all that. And then when I got
Sure.
home, I shot a quick video and I touched my hair like this with my glove. And he was like, "You're gonna have to take a shower when you get home. You have to wash your hair. You have to burn your clothes."
Well, yeah, I mean, and the real problem is we don't start showing symptoms until, for like a week or so.
Yeah.
So it's, nobody, we probably all have it right now and we don't even know.
I hope not. I hope not. But
Yeah, I hope not
yeah.
too. I mean, you and I will be fine, and are people like without horrible pre-existing conditions, and but yeah, a lot of people. I was thinking about like going to visit my parents for Easter. They're in Peoria. They're in their early 70s. And I was like, and we both talked about it, and they want me to come, but they're like, you probably shouldn't. And I was like, you're right, I probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because I'm not
Another
worried
thing
about
is,
me, but
I'm not worried about me. Our oldest is type 1 diabetic. And if you looked at the people that the mortality rate, the highest ones are diabetics. Now, it's not specified if it's type 1 diabetics or diabetics as an overweight diabetics. I don't know. And I certainly don't want to find out. So that's the
yeah,
other thing. Like, we have to keep our immune challenged child safe.
sure. Yeah,
So
and my
it's not
girlfriend has some an autoimmune disease as well, or disorder rather, and so so we have to keep her safe as well. So I can appreciate that. So what are you telling your agents and all of the Gogo's Bootcamp people to do right now on social media? What are the tactful ways to do it, and what are ways not to do it? Right?
Yeah. So I don't think this is a time to start lead generating. I don't think this is the time to be calling people and asking for their business. We don't do any of that. This is the time to help one another. So if there's any way that you can help. One of the things that we have done, and this one is a little bit more detailed, but I try to explain as good as I can, I guess. If you guys look at back in like 2015, 16, 17, 18, back in 2000, what was it, 6, 7, 8, 9, the crash time and all that, people used a lot of their equity. They would take equity out of the homes and they would go buy boats and whatever, jet skis and whatever they, bikes and whatever they wanted to spend their money on. And so a lot of people, over 820 some billion, I think we took out of equity in the homes. Right now, in the last few years, 16, 17, 18, 19, we have only used 200 and some odd billion. So a lot of the people right now have equity in their home. So if you have clients that may have lost their job, or they need some sort of or they're just uncertain and they need some sort of a help, there's always an equity they could tap into in their home. Most of the people right now have equity in their home. So that's also just a nice way of like touching base with them. Just reach out to them. Hey, you may not think of this, but you potentially could have equity in your home. That could be something that you could tap into and help yourself financially in these times. So if I can help you, let me know. I would be more than happy to send you a quick CMA, a competitive market analysis, through our MLS access.
Sure.
I don't know how everybody's MLS works, but we have in ours real account one that's called RPR. We can just plug in an address in there. It will give us approximate market value. So that's one way of doing it. So then you can just say, all I need from you, so just DM me or email me your physical address. I will send back a report that shows your potential market value, and then your equity is market value minus what you owe on it. And then also we have a list of lenders that we have been working with through the years. Please feel free to give them a call, either one of them. See if you would qualify for a home equity line of credit, and if something that could help you in these times. And then also, I just feel like when you help them in need, they're just automatic, and they will reach out to you when they're ready to buy and sell. So I'm not asking for their business right now. We are pretty much just helping them. And in this time with our resources and our connections. And then when the times come around and they need to sell and buy, I'm sure they will call us.
Yeah, it's a great idea. So, that's a real creative way to for people to start to think about, getting more immediate cash. And another option, obviously, with rates being so low, it's a really good time to look into refinancing as well, which isn't going to directly put money in your pocket, but is going to reduce some of that monthly spend. So Right now, the banks and lenders are really overwhelmed because there's so much activity with refinances, and people just buying homes despite obviously all the challenges we're having.
Rates are so low. Rates are so low right now. Like if you have something, if you're in the 5s or 6s, maybe you bought years and years ago, and right now you can get it down to 3%. You're saving tens of thousands of dollars. Well, depending how much your mortgage was, of course, but
sure.
A lot of money. So that's just one way of being able to reaching back and giving back, and at these times and not asking for anything in return. I strongly recommend not to push your services right now. onto people, because they really had just, it's a time of uncertainty. Of course they can, if they have real estate needs and they love and appreciate you and then follow you already, they're going to reach out to you no matter what. But I just don't feel like these are the times to take advantage of people. And, you know,
I agree. And I have an idea for you. I wanted to share this with you, and you tell me if it's a good idea or a bad idea, because I'm not sure, but I think it might be a good idea. So Gogo is, you know, as far as social media, she is the end all be all for good ideas with social media. So I was thinking, since real estate is hyper local and we have so many small businesses out there right now that are struggling, you know, restaurants in particular, retail shops, of course, are really, really struggling. So I was thinking, you know, since we have our listeners who work in their local communities, maybe one idea could be that you could reach out to some of these businesses, a restaurant, for example, that might be struggling. I know, like in Chicago, the restaurants are really struggling right now. And they're trying to let people know that, no, we still have takeout, where we have specials where you can come. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be kind of cool if you live in an area that you want to specialize in, reach out to some of these local businesses and say, hey, I would love to do, you know, a quick little interview with you. It could be 5 minutes, doesn't have to be long. I could bring you on my IGTV, you know, stream, or we can just do a 1-minute video and post it to Instagram and Facebook Live, and do also, and we could just talk about your business. And I could just make sure that every one of my followers and listeners knows what you guys are, that you're still open if they are. I don't know. What do you think about that?
It's an amazing idea. Yesterday or the day before, when we went grocery shopping, and I was talking about being messed up from head to toe. There's a restaurant, or where there's a business here locally that supplies to restaurants. Usually they supply fresh produce, but only to restaurants usually. Now, while the restaurants are really not working, they're doing some carry out. They're only open from 4 to 8, some of them, and only do carry out, while their produce is just sitting in this facility. So they ended up opening it up for the general public, doing, and I ended up going there. We heard from my father-in-law. We went there. While we were there, I asked them, hey, do you guys have a Facebook page? Do you mind if I promote this to mine? And they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, we would appreciate it so much, blah, blah, blah. If you think about it, they're sitting on fresh produce that is going to go bad. Like it has a shelf life of a week.
Yeah.
They have to get rid of it. If not, it's going to go bad. So I literally did a quick little video as we walked out of there, all messed up and all that. And I just did like, hey guys, here's where we are. This is what's going on. This place is usually not open for the public. We showed what we got. Like for $50, we walked out of like 2 boxes. There's like 2 big full boxes of fresh produce. And I tagged them, and they were so thankful. And then even just yesterday and today, I ended up seeing a couple of our Facebook friends who went there. They ended up taking pictures of the product and stuff like that, and they ended up posting it. So it's like a snowball effect. Yeah. But then that place ended up tagging me back, and they thanked me for our services and for helping them getting the word out there. And I'm hoping that when they're going to need a realtor, they're going to remember this time, and they're going to be like, we're going to call the Gogo chick. And that's why we are doing it. It's like helping one another. You know, I also believe in karma, and I believe, you know, you get what you give in life. And if you can give for somebody not expecting anything in return, they will also give to you, not expecting anything in return when the time comes around. So definitely reach out to local restaurants. If nothing else, you could just reach out to local restaurants and be like, hey guys, what is your schedule? What is your menu? Because they have a different menu now for a carry out. It could be as simple as, hey, could you shoot over your carry out menu? And then I will post it on my Facebook and say, hey guys, the Wooden Spoon is open Monday to Friday from 4 to 8. They do carry out, and here's their carry out menu. Please support a local business and just provide that. And then tag them, and they're going to say, then they're going to share it. It's just going both ways. So now their followers going to see your post, your followers going to be going to see their business, and when they are tagged, they can go over and follow their business page. So there's so many ways you can do this. You can also interview through Zoom, just as you said, because we can't physically be in the same place. But you can certainly interview local businesses, other realtors, whatever that helps you, and then post that, and just, you know, help to get the word out, whatever you want the world to know about.
Yeah, it's such a great idea. Now, you know, you have everybody is scared. Everyone's struggling. A lot of businesses, they would love it if you reach, especially like I know a lot of the high-end restaurants are really nervous because obviously they're not serving, and you don't think of them as takeout places. And a lot of the ones here in Chicago have converted into doing daily specials and meals, and they only can reach their email list, which might be very small.
They weren't building it.
So,
how they were doing business.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and
it's
so
huge.
now,
You can
Yeah,
just
now you can reach out to them and say, "Hey, are you guys doing anything takeout, carryout wise? You know, would you do a 3 minute interview with me? You know, I'll send you the Zoom link, and you can do it on your phone, and or just send me the menu and I'll promote it." But yeah, those are great ideas.
Yeah, so many ways you can do it. We also have our vendor list. So this is a good time to start building that if you don't have one. You know how many times they ask you for a plumber and for
Right.
a painter and for a this, for a that, a dog walker, a mower, a landscaping company, like all of these things. This is a time to reach out to your friends on Facebook that own, small businesses and support them. Say, hey, would you please sign this list? So just build an Excel sheet, send them the link. They will literally plug themselves in there. Our vendors even give discounts to our clients. So they will give like 10% off just because they're our clients and we refer them. They would do this, they would do that, a free, home evaluate, whatever that, their
Yeah.
company does. So this is your time to start supporting those local businesses, start building your preferred vendor list. So then when the good times come around, you have your list built, because no other time when we are so busy, you don't have the time to build it. You don't have the time to reach out to your friend who's like, what do? You have a cement company? That's right. Can you tell me a little bit about it? What area you guys cover? What type of works do you guys do? Like, do you need more clients? And would you be interested if we added you to our preferred vendor list? Like, that kind of stuff. And then I guarantee you, I swear, every time we reach out to one of our friends here locally that has a local business, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, do you do commercial? Do you do
Right.
vacant land rental? We are thinking of building. Do you do blah, blah, blah? It just automatically turns into the next real estate conversation.
Yeah, and now's a good time too, to where not just to have that vendor list, but like as Gogo was saying, you could also interview each one of these people. You could set up a little Zoom meeting, a 3 minute Zoom meeting. It doesn't have to be long, and just record these interviews, and then you can use that information as social media content. You can also just have it available in case somebody says, "Hey, do you have a good attorney we could use?" Yeah, you know what? I'm going to send you his information. Also, I did a little 3 minute thing so you can see what he or she looks like, how they sound, what their energy's like, and you could send that over as well. And that'll even be, so now's a great time to start aggregating all of that information.
And
So that
also,
you,
I mean, we work with so many different vendors just on our end. You might be like,
yeah,
you know what? Yes, I worked with this title company forever, but they have messed up the last, 9 files out of 10. Maybe it's time to switch title companies. You know what I mean? So maybe this is your time to interview those other files and narrow down who has what you need, who has the work ethic and the work style that you have, so you don't butt heads in a transaction, and then just work on that. Like, there's so many different aspects of the real estate industry that you could be working on, most importantly yourself.
yeah.
So that's what I want to talk about. Take that nap that you usually don't have time to do.
Yes.
Read that book that you always wanted to but never had the time. Take that course that you like, oh, if I only had the time, I'd go through that real estate social media training. You know what I mean? So whatever is that you wanted to do but never had the time, God just cleared off your schedule. Go get it done.
I got an email this morning, and I have to really give credit to Compass, the company Compass. This came from a Compass broker. I don't know if Compass wrote it or if she wrote it, but it was her monthly newsletter. And obviously, not talking about real estate stuff right now might not be all that well received. So I almost deleted it because I was like, I don't ever read that stuff anyway. But I was about to delete it, and it caught my eye because the entire article was 10 things stay-at-home moms or parents can do right now to keep their kids busy during this time. And it was like, oh, that's really, really smart. And it goes into what we were just talking about. It was useful information. It was timely, and it was not talking about real estate. It was, actually something people could use. I was like,
Yeah.
that was a great email. And I see those newsletters and I just go, who cares? And I went, I'm not going to read that because I don't have children, but I forwarded to some of our brokers, and I was like, this is a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, think about it, all of the parents at home. Like, I just heard from one of the agents in our team that in Arizona, they already they will have no more school this year.
Yeah.
So it's not official here in Michigan yet, but it's probably coming, which means even if we get released back in a month or two, my children's going to be home all day, every day.
Right.
Like, we are going to have to figure out some sort of an entertainment for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, especially not being able to work outside the house. So when we finally can, I want to leave. Like, I want to go do all the things that I wasn't able to do physically, be in another place, which means I would have to leave my children at home, which means I have to figure out a way for them to be entertained, or drag them with me, or drop them off at a museum, or hire a sitter, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to take some adjustment of how we live life, and giving ideas for parents who were not used to having to entertain their children at home, like myself. That's a great one.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, we can do that. Why didn't I think of that? Love it. Love it. Great idea. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is reviews and feedback.
Great.
Like, so it's so important to have those five-star reviews on all of the different platforms, because people are going to Google you. They want to make sure if they are ready to put their biggest asset on the market and the most money they will ever exchange hands with, they want to make sure it's handled properly. So they're going to Google you. If you don't have a social presence, especially with a millennial, if you don't have a Google, if you don't show up on it, you don't exist. So it's very important to have your reviews and feedbacks. And I'm going to talk about the few sites that I think it's important to have a presence on. So
Great.
Zillow, even though I don't buy leads, it is very important to have a profile on Zillow, because most people are going to look you up. They want to see your production.
Everyone's going to Zillow. Everyone goes to Zillow.
They're going to check you out. They're going to see your production, your price range, your reviews and feedbacks, what area you cover, all that. So even though I never bought Zillow leads, I still have a Zillow profile. So they can look me up on there. They see my transactions, the areas that I do it in, how many I've done, and my reviews. So I think Zillow is very important. Next one is realtor.com. They're kind of neck to neck. Less traffic, but some people just love realtor.com versus Zillow. And then Facebook page. So if you don't have one yet, it is the time to create one. You want a business Facebook page, so then you can have reviews and feedbacks. The next one is Google My Business. So all of these you should have. And all of these you should have reviews and feedback. So let's talk about Google My Business. That is probably the most important now.
It is. Yeah.
The millennials start having babies and needing their home away from mom and dad's basement and things like that. They're going to Google you. So,
yeah. And the reason why Google My Business is the most important, just to make sure everyone understands why we're saying that, is Google prioritizes the Google My Business page listing when you're searching for reviews. So it's going to show up above Yelp, above Facebook, above Zillow. It's going to show up at the very, very top, because it's Google's own platform. And, almost all the searches done online are done through Google. So you need to create a Google My Business account, and you need to be asking for reviews there.
Yes. So what the funny part is, I was very surprised to find out when I created this, that Google will actually send you a snail mail to confirm your account. I was like,
yes, that's right. Yeah, they do.
I'm like, no, this is a joke. Is it April 1st? It is April 1st. And I'm not
It is April 1st, but it is not a joke.
It is not a joke. So
you're going to get like a postcard in the mail or something.
Yeah. So you go to Google My Business. So literally just go to Google, put in Google My Business. You're going to find the page, and there's going to be a create or join or some button on there, and just follow the steps. It is really not brain surgery. Now, if you're an EXP agent, because now there's many of us out there, we don't have physical locations. So I want you to be very careful what address you put in there, because it's going to be, you do have an option to hide it from the public, but I don't ever want you to not be able to figure that out. And now suddenly your home address is on Google, because you don't want people showing up at your front door.
Right.
So if that's the case, I recommend maybe talking with a local title company, a local lender, somebody else that you're friends with that has a local office downtown somewhere, that you can ask them, hey, can I just put your address down as my physical location? So if somebody wants to mail me something, or send me a book, or send me a postcard or something, then you can just let me know and I can pick it up from your office.
Yep.
So I talked to my local lender, and my Google My Business is actually registered at her local office.
Great.
So that
makes sense.
That's just an idea. You also have the option of hiding the physical address. So let's say if you have only an online address, an online business that you really don't meet people physically, then you can also just do that and hide the physical location. But either way, you have to disclose the physical location, because they're going to send you a postcard.
Right.
That postcard, it has a 5-digit code, 5-6, something like that digit code in there. You're going to have to go back to Google My Business. You're going to have to enter that code that you received in the mail. Can take up to 2 weeks to get that postcard. And after that, your Google My Business is confirmed. Now you have a Google My Business account. On there, you're going to have the ability to post. It's kind of like Instagram in a way, where when you post, your post will, I think they only stay up there for 7 days. And then
7 days. Yeah.
And then they go poof. So just make sure, periodically you get on there and you post something, and then definitely use the reviews and feedback on there. So ours automatically, when Christy, my office manager, processes our files, after closing, we have an automated email drip campaign for past clients. So we just switch them over in our CRM program to past clients. And one of the very first text message and email goes out is asking for reviews. And then we pretty much say, hey, I loved working with you. I hope you had the same 5-star experience and I have with you. Again, 5-star experience, you can just kind of putting it out there. I had a 5-star experience working with you. I hope you had the same.
Yeah.
kind of reminding you of like, what am I expecting you to say when you are filling it out? Now, of course, they're going to be honest. They're going to tell you how they really felt about the transaction, but I'm kind of hinting of how I felt working with them. And then you send them that email with the 4 links. So you're going to do your realtor.com, your Zillow, or 5 links, realtor.com, Zillow, your own personal Facebook page, your Google My Business. And did I forget anything? I think that's it.
Realtor.com.
Yeah, Realtor, Zillow, Facebook, and Google My Business. So those 4. And they all in there. Now, they all require the feedback to come directly from the source. So they can just fill out one and you cannot copy and paste it into the other. Neither one of these sites will allow you to do that. It has to come straight from the source. So usually what we say in that email is like, hey, I'm only asking for 5 minutes of your time. Just so you know, our business is word to mouth, and reviews and feedbacks are so important when people Google us. So I would truly appreciate if you could take, 5 minutes of your time, just go through the first one, fill it out, copy it, go to the next one, paste it, next one, paste it, next one, paste it. So they don't have to type it up 4 times. They can just copy and paste. They only have to type it up 1 time. So it speeds up their process, but they do have to click individually each of those links and go through the steps. So if nothing else, just build an automated email. So after closings, all of your profiles are set up properly. You include that link to your direct reviews page on Zillow, your direct reviews page on Realtor.com, Facebook, and Google My Business, and then they can start filling it out after every closing. Now, you might be ahead of the curve, and you might already have all that. Now it's a good time to get video from your past clients. So you can say, hey, you're home doing nothing. Do you have a minute to shoot over a quick review video of how you loved working with us? I mean, I already know you left it with words on our sites, and we appreciate it. But some people are visual, and it would really register with them if they saw you actually saying those things. And if you don't mind, just do the selfie style video and send it back to us. Now, those videos you can build into your websites. You can put it, as a post on your social media pages. Right now, it's a good time to kind of just what is it called? It's a shameless self-promotion is what I like calling it. Just to kind of let the world know, like, everybody who decided to work with you in the past, they enjoyed that experience, and here's proof of that. And you can take those little snippets of videos and post it on your social media platforms.
Yeah. And you can also post those videos right on Google My Business. And I think that is, a huge, huge thing. We've been doing that for testimonials for brokers who join our company. For doing that for the last 4 months. So we've been posting those videos and watching. The number of views we get on those videos from Google My Business is incredible. I don't know how many of those people convert into clients or whatever, but boy, those videos get watched. So you obviously will put them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, maybe even, but definitely upload them directly into your Google My Business account. They get looked at for sure.
Yes. Yeah. And it helps you. I mean, it helps the other agents when they're trying to make that decision. Should I not join your team? Right? There is proof from everybody else that decided to make that same decision. They're happy that they did. And so you don't have to sell yourself anymore. They sold you for them.
And everyone should be paying it forward as well. If you're expecting people to write reviews for you, be somebody who writes reviews for the places you visit. Mm-hmm. And I just had, I got sick a few weeks ago, not related to the current condition, just good old fashioned food poisoning. But I had to cancel this trip. I was going out to San Francisco. And unfortunately I wasn't able to go. So the place I was going to be staying, which was very expensive, they didn't really have a cancellation policy. And I let them know, I'm so sorry, I'm really sick. I don't know if there's anything you can do with the bill. They were nice enough to give me a full refund, which was insane. They did not have to do that. And I immediately wrote them back and I said, oh my gosh, I was not expecting that. You guys are amazing. What can I do to support you right now? And this is right now when the country was kind of shutting down. And they said, if you could write us a review, and they gave me 3 locations, Google, Facebook, and TripAdvisor, because they're a destination thing. And I said, consider it done. And I copied and pasted into all 3. I wrote them back. I said, I just did all 3. And they were like, oh my gosh, that means so much to us. You have no idea. So do that for other people as well. I mean, if you're going to expect people to write for you, do it for them and pay it forward for sure.
Awesome. And same, I mean, if you think about it with agents that you have worked with, like even just go through your closing this year, go to the
Yeah.
agents that you worked with on the other side of the transaction and go on their
Yes.
Facebook page and leave a review and just say, hey, I love working with Angela. She's an awesome agent. I was on the listing side, she was on the buy side. We had smooth sailing to the closing table, and I only wish that every other agent would represent their client in a so, timely manner, or however you want to word it, and just send it. And then now Angela receives this, she's like, oh my gosh, Gogo
Yeah.
just left me a review.
Yes.
I should do the same. Now she's going to go back and leave a review on your page of how awesome it was to work with you. Even though it's peer to peer, it's still a review.
Yeah, it's awesome. That is such a great idea. So not only going back to all your clients and saying, hey, I would really appreciate if you could help me write a review. Go to all the co-op brokers, the brokers on the other side of the deal, the agents on the other side, and say, hey, I want to, and you just, even if you can't find them, call them and say, you know what? I never wrote you a review. I want to do that for you right now. How do I do that? Where do you want me to do that? Do you want me to do it on Zillow? Ask them. They have never got that phone call ever. So you are going to blow their mind, and then they're probably going to say, oh, and I'll do the same for you.
Yeah. And then
What a
also, I
great
mean,
idea.
so many are like, oh, I don't feel comfortable with video. Well, this is the time to start feeling comfortable. You have nothing else to do. So you have all the time on earth to be in the nook of your home that it's peace and quiet, and start shooting some videos. Just start, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just talk about whatever's close to your heart. Talk about something that you're so good at in this industry that you want to help other agents to be so good at.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do, and just shoot it and post it. Next thing you know, by the time you get out of here, you feel so comfortable with video, then you'll be ready to you'll be taking videos all day, every day.
And don't worry if you don't look perfect. People don't respond well to perfection. They want to see what you
Ready
know.
for this?
Yeah. Yay, there we go. I love it. I love it.
So don't care about if you don't look perfect. So here it is, my imperfection.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I have tons of imperfection myself. So I can appreciate that. But Gogo is so absolutely right. And look at the courage she had the courage to do something that a lot of people wouldn't do, right? And I didn't know she was going to do that. So that's so awesome that you did that. But she had the courage to be vulnerable. And what vulnerability, it's the most attractive quality in another human being, the courage to show who we really are. And you have this unique opportunity to do that right now. You could show it physically, like, here's what I look like without makeup, or here's what I look like,
without my tooth in.
without a tooth. But the point is that's what people connect with. They connect with vulnerability. So don't worry if you don't look camera perfect, right? Gogo and I are not camera perfect either. And, but we're authentic, right? We're honest.
That's when I say share the good, bad, and the ugly. I mean, and not every time you're going to make a commission. Not every client is a walk in a park. Some of them are a walk in Jurassic Park, and that's okay. Like, you can't, that's one of my favorite jokes, because it's the truth. You know what I mean? So that's why I think the secret to the amount of followers that I get is because I show the good, bad, and the ugly. Because some videos I have my tooth in, and in some videos I'm searching for my tooth because I can't find it. You know what I mean? But it is the truth, though. I mean, I could try to hide it and show like how my life is perfect, but it's not. I lost my tooth in a sandwich, and now I had to get oral surgery, and I won't have a front tooth for 6 months.
Oh no.
Because I had no bone there. So then I had to go in, and they had to do a bone graft, and now I have someone's hip bone in my face. Like, now that has to.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So
But also like, it also just makes us all so much more human, and we're all imperfect. And to try to project, it's the thing that a lot of realtors, they get like a really nice headshot, and then they don't change it for 15 years. And then people go, well, that's an old headshot. It's like, you can update your headshot. It's okay to look like it's okay to look like a real person. It's okay.
It's okay to share that you didn't have a front tooth for 6 months.
Yeah. Maybe we'll start a fund to maybe to get you maybe there's like a new like radical therapy or technology to get you a new tooth faster. We'll have to look. 6 months is a long time.
It is a long time. I mean, I kind of chose this route. I could have veneers, I guess.
Yeah.
Or a bridge. But if I did that, I would have to mess with the healthy tooth around it. I don't want to have, when I lost one, I don't want to have to file down 3 next to it so I can have 4 of the same.
No.
You know what I mean? And that's the only other option. My only healthy option where I can put just the one tooth back in is by waiting out for the bone to heal, and then they're going to do an implant and they're going to put a tooth on it. But that's why it's taking me so long to have a front tooth, is because I have to wait. So when I had the bone graft that literally cut me open and then put bone in my face,
Wow.
that has to heal together with my own bone.
Sure.
And it has to strengthen to be able to hold the implant. So that's going to take time, and I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? I always believe God doesn't give you what you can't handle. I'm fine. If, you know, if that imperfection, if anything, it catches people off guard, they start paying attention. You know,
for
it might have been
sure.
dozing off right here, but when I popped my tooth, I guarantee you they were all like, what?
I love it. And again, it's courageous. And this is a business where if you can demonstrate the courage to be yourself, and if you don't have an answer to a question, tell your client, you know, I'm going to double check. I'm going to double check on the answer on that. I'll get right back
I
to you.
always say, I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know.
I know who does. I don't know, but I know who does.
I know who does, and I will find out, and I'll get right back to you. Yeah. What an awesome place to finish up. Let's wrap up, because this was great, and I so always great talking to Gogo. So I want to make another plug for two things for Gogo. I want everybody to go on Instagram and follow her. So you find her at Gogo's Real Estate, GOGOS Real Estate. So find her, just search for her. If you can't type that in, you'll find her, no problem. We'll also post a link right on our when we publish this episode. And also, I want you all to subscribe and be a member of her boot camp. This is the time to do it, and this will pay you dividends, huge dividends. So
even
definitely,
if you just do one transaction, if you get nothing else out of it but one transaction in your lifetime, which I've done over 60 million, so I can guarantee you get one transaction. I can't guarantee you unless you do the work, but if you do the work, I guarantee you get not one, many transactions over. But one transaction, one commission will pay for the boot camp at least 5 times over, very minimum.
Oh, easily, because what she's really going to teach you how to do is how to build a social media lifestyle into your practice. Doesn't mean you have to reveal everything about your personal life. She's going to teach you how to communicate through social media in a way that is attractive to the people that you're looking to have as clients. It's amazing. It's a formulated system. It works. She has tons and tons, thousands of people who are already members of this group. So you should do that as well. So we have a special website set up just for Gogo's bootcamp, which is Gogo Podcast, GOGOpodcast.com. Check it out. I never recommend any products. This is the only product I basically recommend, because I've used it. It's amazing, and it's great. And it'll help you build your business, which is what we're all trying to do right now, is stay in business and grow our business. And this is a great time. So
thank you so much.
Thank you. And Gogo, thank you for being on our show. As per usual, you're amazing. We're so thrilled. The listeners love you. The viewers love you, and your missing tooth. We all love you.
Maybe they love me even more now.
They do. They do love you even more. And so on behalf of Gogo and myself, we want to thank the listeners. And by the way, I'm going to ask for a favor from our listeners. We talked about asking for reviews. Why don't you give us a review? We would appreciate it. Even if you hate us and you think we're the worst, still write us a review, because we want to know how you feel. The easiest way to do that, go to whatever podcast directory you're using, whether you're in iTunes or Spotify or Stitcher or Pandora or Google Play, anywhere, and leave us a review. Let us know how you feel. We appreciate it. It helps us get better, also helps attract more listeners to our show. And so we thank you for that. So on behalf of Gogo and myself, on the listeners, thank you for continuing to support our show. Thanks for watching and listening. And Gogo, we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.